Colonel Pathak is from the Military Intelligence Service and he is a resident of Chandigarh and he's been kind enough to come to our studio Daily World here today. The reason why we've called you here, Colonel Pathak, is because there's a recent controversy regarding the Indian Army as well as the CRPF. A CRPF Jawan has recently posted a video on Facebook claiming that the allowances and terms and condition of work are not at par with the Indian Army and the CRPF should get the same facilities that the Indian Army gets. We'd like your comments on this, sir.
Morning to you. Firstly, we cannot compare any of the services. Army forms part of the defense services, whereas CRPF is from the Central Police Organization. Both the roles are different, they are mandated for different charters. One cannot question, I personally feel one should not question what one service gets, the other doesn't get. It all depends on the role, whereas our role is multifarious and the role of the CPO is basically limited to anti-riots, providing security to vulnerable areas and assets, and in times assisting the local police in law and order situation. They hardly stay in areas which are inhospitable, unlike Shaichin, unlike Kibitu in Arunachal Pradesh or even North Sikkim, whereas the defense personnels, they are always stationed throughout the year. Regarding allowances are as per the service condition, they may be getting different allowances vis-a-vis us. We have never questioned the allowances what CRPF or the other CPO gets. For example, the question of DNS allowance. Whenever the units or the companies move out, they are entitled for DNS allowance without any time stipulation. It may be even 2 to 3 years. They get temporary duty, they move out on temporary duty and are entitled for DNS allowance. Whereas people in defense services, they being posted in that particular area are not entitled for the same. We have never questioned why they are getting the money or the allowance, whereas we do not get it. It is a total difference issue and we should leave it to the government to decide what one should be given. Then second issue about the quality, about the ration money, they from inspector and down, they I think get about 90 to 92 rupees per day as ration money, whereas our Indian Jawan, he is entitled about 60 rupees a day and officer 90. So that is quite a difference. Thirdly, it is basically administrative mismanagement on part of the organization. The people who are heading their respective units, it is their lookout to ensure that their troops are satisfied. They are also working in a very different environment. Take for example the Red Corridor where CRPF is operating 24/7. It all delves on to the command, how they look after the troops. Whereas in Army, we have various mechanisms to look after the welfare of our troops, from company to battalion to brigade to higher headquarters. Their grievances are redressed on receipt of the complaint by an individual. Hence, very few incidents occur where Indian Army personnel have taken to social media to convey their grievances. Whereas the past 2-3 days, we hear certain CPOs, Jawans have come out and open in social media asking for parity with Indian Army. Now, lastly, what I want to highlight is about the pension which the Jawan from CRPF had stated. They are member of National Pension Scheme, whereas we are not. Second is, our Jawan serve for about 15 to 17 years and retires at the age of 35 to 37, whereas they continue till 58. So obviously, his savings will be much more than what our Jawan has. Then status about ESM, that is a foregone conclusion. ESM implies ex-serviceman and this entitlement is only for the people who are in OGs or in Air Force or the Navy, not for anyone else. To grant the status of ESM, the government will have to amend the requisite legislation.
So what you are saying, sir, is that the CRPF men get more money per every month than an Indian Army Jawan or an Indian Army officer gets.
Now that is all on the places where they are moved to. The place of the duty, once like in CRPF, the concept is, I'll give you an example. If the headquarter is in Chandigarh and the companies they move out, say to J&K, including the headquarter, the base will remain in Chandigarh, and once the headquarter and the other companies move out, they are entitled for DNS allowance. And that may extend for 2 to 3 years too. They do not have the stipulation of 89 days or so.
So taking a wild guess, I can say that an officer in the BSF could get 15,000 or 20,000 rupees a month more because of these allowances than an Indian Army officer working under similar conditions.
I do not know the exact DNS allowance percentage at present, but whatever your figures are, you may be right in assessing about 15 to 20,000. But then we are also compensated with MSP and with military service pay. But that is not equivalent to the DNS allowance which they get per month.
Thank you so much, Colonel Pathak. Thank you so much for being here today with us. You've been extremely informative, sir.
Thank you.